Welcome back. No, this isn't the start of a Pink Floyd video. Just Stop Oil put out a hit on Stonehenge yesterday. It's 1600 hours, local time. Everyone's upset, guys, that the powdered paint may kill the endangered lichens on the rock. Oh my god. People that drive Land Rovers and throw dog shit at old people are upset that a bit of moss on a rock might die. I get more upset when they spray paint Barclays headquarters. It's such a shit wonder of the world. They don't even trust you to go near it. You think they let you even touch these things anymore? Fuck no. We should be able to touch these stones, if I'm being honest, and we should be able to write shit on them. I don't know how we're not. They're gonna last forever. Why can't I lick my hand and scratch off all the lichen? I just wish they would maybe gone a couple of stories higher. That's all I'm saying. The actual construction method on Wikipedia is quite funny. Inside is a ring of smaller blue stones. Inside these are freestanding trilithons, two bulkier vertical sarsens joined by one lintel. It sounds like a list that you give the apprentice to go to the shop and buy. Yeah, down to B&Q, mate, and get some of those smaller blue stones. Yeah, and then what we're going to do inside, we're going to have those freestanding trilithons, right? So get one of them. Glass hammer, spirit level bubble, bulkier vertical sarsens. They all sound the same. It sounds like how they built stuff in Lazy Town. And they sound ancient, which is great. I don't know how they've managed to stop using these words, but obviously something's gone wrong. Trilithon, that's an Olympic event, isn't it? But these geniuses did this day before the summer solstice. Can we finally expect the rapture to come and kill us all? That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? I think we've actually lost a lot of pride in our society, and it doesn't help that our ancestors built the world's shittest monolithic megastructure. I don't know. I think it'd do us a lot of good, though, if we brought construction and megalithic structures back into society. We'd be so much closer if we had to drag 25-ton bluestones from Wales to Wiltshire. I've been pretty consistent my whole life in hating the climate. I don't care if it's trying to change. Alright, I'll hate the new climate as well. If you fucking hate the environment like I do, these guys should be your heroes. People that like don't wash and have long armpit hair, like looking at them like, God, they're fucking disgusting. The shit that they're doing is sick. The funniest thing about Just Stop Oil is they're actually right, which is so funny because everyone hates them. And I don't know if it's like an inside job by Big Oil to fund these idiots. You know, the group meetings that these guys have must be great. They've got unlimited funding somehow when they have no job and they're all retired. You know, they must be like, right, we're running out of ideas, right? We're going to just do it. Anyone got any cool ideas for how we can get in the news? And Johnny puts his hand up. Fuck's sakes. Oh, Johnny. Your last idea was to blow up the Nordstrom pipeline. You know, just crazy ideas. Let's freaking throw cream pies at Mona Lisa. This next story I'm going to handle with an angel's touch. Pupils mocked and put in headlocks by school staff. That's not as funny as it sounds. These pupils are actually learning disabled. All right, this school in the Whittle, okay, is being done by a panorama documentary on BBC. And this is the article, and I've watched the documentary as well, and it is brutal. I mean, it's so hard for me to describe. I'm going to read out some of the bullet points of what these fuckers were doing. But it hits close to home, this, because, you know, I thought I was going to get a medically induced lobotomy when I was younger, because I could not finish Pokemon Diamond. So it hits close to home, seeing my fellow brothers be treated in ways that are not kosher. Right, during her time undercover, Panorama reporter Sasha Hine did work experience with sports staff at the school. She saw some staff trying to do their best for the pupils, but for the most part, witnessed children being treated cruelly by adults charged with taking care of them. And this is our first offender. This is the head of PE. All right, mogging a little bit. You've got autism. We can just skip over most of this because it is actually quite sad, a lot of this. And I'm trying to make this funny. No. But I'm not gonna. I'm not. Just shut the fuck up. All right. Just let me cook. So these are some of the bullet points of what these guys were doing, and this is not the funny part. All right. So if you sat giggling, leave a comment. All right, and I'll deal with you separately. One of the teachers grabbing a pupil's head and drawing what another child close said by was a penis on his face. When you see that actual footage, it is unbelievable. And it is so funny because they're all scousers, all these kids and the teachers, right? So the kid doesn't go, the other kid that sees it does not go, penis on his face. In a scouse accent, he goes, he's drawn a big fat cock on his face. Which is a crazy thing to do. As a functioning adult, to go and hit a kid with learning difficulties over the head with a penis, metaphorically. 3 members of staff using homophobic and sexist language towards pupils, calling him a pons to his face and describing him as a batty boy to another pupil. It was suspicious reading, this article. Seeing these teachers use a lot of the vocabulary I scream at myself in the mirror made me look very inward. And I found this so interesting. I wanted to write about it, but it was tricky, Am I just as bad because I call my friends batty boys, or I get them in headlocks and throw them to the ground? I don't know where the fuck these guys have found all these moves from, but they will definitely be hearing from my lawyers. And I've got lawyers. I've got good Jewish lawyers that hate being bored. All right, they're very litigious and they love money. I mean, this one, the head of sports putting pupils in a headlock, mocking his reaction, then pushing him to the ground. These are my bread and butter bits. And obviously, the thing is, I'm doing this on my friends, okay? And that's the little line I had to make in my head where I'm like, you're not doing this. You're a good guy, man. You've not said any of these things. It made me generally feel like I was living my life wrong. I mean, look at these pupils that they were targeting. No, these are the teachers that were doing it. But you know what I mean, right? And when I read the article, I thought, come on, we're pushing it a little bit here, aren't we, boys? And then come to find out, the guy on the right was a Paralympian in 2016. Ladies and gentlemen, the inmates are running the asylum. You can see why, they've got him teaching classes and stuff. It must give the kids reassurance, right? These guys were once students here. If I put in the work, maybe one day I can abuse special needs kids. All their eyes just look fiendish. Do you know what I mean? They look like they're just gagging to beat the shit out of a kid. And I can't really relate to that. Unfortunately, I never had a little brother when I was growing up. One that I could beat the fucking shit out of anyway. I'd experience it sometimes if I went around to a friend's house and he'd pull his little brother out his room and we'd kick the shit out of him on the trampoline. For a brief period, I understood what it does feel like. So I'm lying when I say I can't relate completely. But I had an older sister. It was a lot more of a blackmail, political type campaign strategy I had to take with arguing and, getting the best over her. When I play fight with my friends at 25 years old, ladies and gentlemen, you can tell which ones had younger brothers because they're dirty fighters. They're using elbows. They're using pressure points. You try and belittle them, right? Or record them swearing to send to their mum, and they just resort to violence. It's disgusting. From my little perusing of all of this, all these crimes, and watching the videos and watching the documentary, I've come to the conclusion that the biggest mistake here was hiring 3 PE teachers. This is a quote from the article. She saw some staff trying to do their best for pupils, but for the most part, witnessed children being treated cruelly by the adults charged with taking care of them. How can they really be trying to do their best when the head of PE is walking around the corridors, shoulder checking special needs kids into the lockers? PE teachers are a modern medical miracle, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know when they successfully grew humans from the bacteria of dog shit, but to be fair, if we ever had a PE teacher substitute for maths or English, we would put them in headlocks and call them batty boys. So it's no shock where they've learnt it from. These guys being the bottom of the cracker barrel. The guy on the left, by the way, is definitely on the spectrum. It is crazy how he doesn't get social shit. The undercover reporter is probably like an 8 or 9 out of 10. And you can see by looking at her that she wouldn't find calling disabled kids retards funny. It's just as simple as that. To be honest, you can tell when someone's going to find that sort of shit amusing. And she's not even laughing at him say this stuff. The guy on the left there called one of these kids a flid. Hey, dude, the 1980s just called. Yeah, they want their word back. Oh, what's that? Oh, they've offered you a job on the London Metropolitan Police as well. The CEO. Let's get his face up. This is all allegedly, by the way. I don't want to be sued by this guy. But this guy, Mr. Savramuto, he's an ex-rugby player who was discharged from the police force for gross misconduct. If you're making this into a movie, you'd have to change that because people would be watching it going, "There's no way. This is just unbelievable. He's an ex-rugby player and was discharged from the police. I don't believe it. The biggest piece of shit in the world. No way." And the craziest thing about this whole thing is his nickname in the police was the Savage. The guy that's the fucking head of the school. Mr. Savramuto said the child had ignored a 10-second warning, and when the boy failed to calm down, he said, "I fucking nailed him. Straight in and he hit the floor. I just did one of these pressure points and he was gone." Like, all right, Steven Seagal. Worst martial artist in the world, by the way. Fuck, man. Congratulations, bro. You paralyzed someone in a wheelchair. He's like that bullshit martial artist. You know those videos you'd see on YouTube where Feng Shui master 1v1 versus a Marine, and the Marine just walks up to him and punches him in the nose. You'll see a lot of people think this is the sort of guy that we need leading Scotland Yard. Yeah. And the people that always say shit like that, they always refer to, the sorts of techniques of getting kids in headlocks and driving them your elbows into them as proper policing. Have you ever heard that one before? Where some police officer, completely flies off the handle and uses too much force. Someone will say in the comments, that's proper policing, that. If you hear someone say that, by the way, they usually want an arrest to be peppered with elbows and knees. A world where we send junior constables into disabled schools to earn their verbal harassment skills